Good evening. Premier Chris Minns and his Treasurer have pulled the trigger on the unofficial election campaign with a raft of cost of living sweeteners in today's state budget. Car regos, tolls and public transport costs have all been capped or made cheaper, and the government is keeping $1 billion in its back pocket to pay for a raft of expensive promises ahead of polling day next March.
In delivering his pre-election budget,
this is how we attack the cost of living crisis from every angle.
The Treasurer puts the rubber to the road, slashing $100 off car registration for the next 12 months.
I've got 3 cars at home that need to be registered, so
I'm spewing because I just paid mine.
Labor's landmark toll cap reduced from $60 to $50 for 1 year, saving drivers an extra $520, with admin fees on toll notices also scrapped.
Sweet. At least it's something.
But the NRMA says it's still too complicated, with more than $100 million still yet to be claimed.
Let's just make it easier for people to get the money. It should be automatic.
Those who use public transport won't miss out, with Opal fares frozen for the next 12 months.
Today's budget provides help at the toll gate, help with the price of rego, help at the train station.
But 120,000 public servants will get a cash handout, with a $1,000 cost of living allowance costing taxpayers $120 million. The result of Daniel Mookie's fourth and final budget of this term, predicting a worse than expected deficit next financial year, but then a return to surplus the year after. Though the Treasurer concedes he'll have to walk a fine line.
Lots of things need to go right.
Most of the cost of living support will only be in place for 12 months, conveniently just long enough to see Labor past the next election, prompting the opposition to accuse the government of being short-sighted.
Their vision is so bad they need to go to Specsavers.
Among the losers, home buyers wanting relief on stamp duty and small businesses hoping for reform on payroll tax.
They will have to pay an extra $1 billion to the New South Wales government just to employ people.
As a first-term Labor government goes back to its roots in its re-election hopes. It wouldn't be an election budget without some money squirreled away for vote sweeteners, and Daniel Mookie has amassed a $1 billion war chest for the government to spend on whatever it likes over the next 12 months. The appropriation fund is meant to be for the government of the day to squirrel money away for unexpected costs, but despite only using a fraction of that fund last year, Daniel Mookie has increased it to over $1 billion. The starting gun on the unofficial election campaign ringing out loud and clear, and there's still 9 months to go. Mark?
Yeah, let the games begin. Taylor, thank you. The criminal case against 2 former Bankstown nurses looks set to fall apart after a judge threw out a crucial piece of evidence ahead of their trial. The pair's accused of threatening Israeli patients during an anti-Semitic rant, but a court now says the online conversation can't be used against them.
It has been 16 months since a lot was said, and today Sarah Abu Labdi had few words.
I'm thankful for everyone that supported me, my friends and my family and my lawyer.
Ahmed Nadir was speechless.
The ruling is a major victory for my client. The district court judge has handed down its judgment.
In the fallout of public ridicule and losing their jobs as nurses at Bankstown Hospital, they had a win, with a judge ruling an online conversation they had with Israeli content creator Max Pfeiffer in February 2025 could not be used against them. I have come to the firm view that the video evidence must be excluded from each of the trials of the applicants, which was due to start in August. We cannot tell you why it was excluded, and we can't broadcast what the influencer posted online because it is subject to a non-publication order. The former nurses were fighting charges of using a carriage service to menace, harass or offend, while Miss Abu Labdi was also accused of threatening violence to a group.
I think this is a good message to the prosecution. I think this prosecution was a gamble and it ultimately backfired in their face.
It'll be tough to secure a conviction now that the video has been thrown out. It was a crucial piece of evidence for the prosecution, who now has to decide whether the case can proceed.
Well, I hope the prosecution do consider this decision today in whether they proceed to a trial.
A decision on that will be made in the coming weeks. Leonie Ryan, 7 News.
2 young children who were tragically hit and killed by a car at Cabramatta last week have now been laid to rest. Brother and sister Harry and Catherine had barely begun their journey when it was taken away in an instant. Their heartbroken parents paid tribute today as the youngsters were given a traditional Buddhist farewell.
Crippled in pain from her own injuries, but nothing compares to the agony of this. A mother leaning down for a final goodbye to both her children. 5-year-old Catherine, a lover of books, dolls and dressing up, and Harry, only 14 months, gentle, always smiling. Their mother, Suk Ram, telling mourners how her perfect world changed last Wednesday while walking home from school pickup at Cabramatta. The mother injured too when the SUV struck her and the children as they crossed the road, wishing no other person her pain. Their father, Vundi Tar, struggling to make sense of it all, but thanking family, friends and the school community.
It means a lot. It means a lot. Thank you.
Photos of the family beamed through the chapel at Leppington. Birthday parties, holidays, dress-ups. The first day of school. Now it's just the 2 of them. Remarkably, the parents hold no anger towards the driver, even saying they forgive him. The 56-year-old man has not been charged. Police still investigating the tragedy.
I forgive him already.
The 5-year-old school will hold its own memorial for classmates later this week. Clementine Cuneo, 7 News.
Pauline Hanson's push for a monoculture has lit a fire under the Albanese government, fresh off a deal to pass its tax changes. The Prime Minister has slammed One Nation's vision as nonsense and criticised the opposition for not having one.
One Nation wants an Australia with one culture.
Japan has a monoculture, so what's wrong with Australia have a monoculture?
And what is that monoculture?
We're multiracial, but at the end of the day, we must look at being Australians. And instead of all these different little individual groups who believe in their own cultures.
Slashing migrant numbers, making English language mandatory, restricting the number of mosques, centring on Judeo-Christian values.
Do we really want to see Sharia law? Do we want to see multiple marriages? Do we want to see these gangs getting around in our streets with machetes? That's not the Australian way of life.
Modern Australia is not a monoculture and it never has been.
Inside the Parliament,
this is a pining for a time that has never existed.
Insisting Australia has been multicultural since British settlement.
The First Fleet had people in chains and people were in charge. Had Protestants and Catholics.
Coalition leader Angus Taylor asked several times if he supported a monoculture.
You explain to me what you mean by that. You see, there's all these vague words running around.